This we have here? The Bandits Massacred or the Citizens Strike Back. Another thrilling true life story by Ted Halyard. Now, where did you get this?
Dave Carr. Interesting book. You ought to read it.
I already have.
So have I.
You, Audra? When did you start reading dime novels?
Well, I borrowed it from Edith, but it really belongs to her brother.
What's it about?
Well, it's supposed to be the true story of the Devlin gang and what happened to them 2 years ago in Kansas.
As I recall, they robbed a bank and were all gunned down, weren't they?
Except for the girl.
What girl?
Oh, that's the girl that Halyard invented for this true life story.
Well, see, there was this skinny red-headed kid that was waiting outside with the horses, and he got away because he outrode the posse. Well, now, Halyard says that this skinny red-headed kid actually was Devlin's woman dressed in pants, and he also claims that she's hiding out somewhere right here in California.
Waiting for the chance to sneak back and dig up Ike Devlin's buried treasure. It is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, almost as exciting as those stories you used to write about that great Western hero and cavalry scout, the Comanche Kid. You remember the real Comanche Kid, don't you?
Very well. He was the biggest liar in the territory, and all his scouting was done in saloons. Halyard has a very vivid imagination.
And we have an awful lot of work to do, and I haven't got time to wait all day for you. Come on. Morning, Dave. Well, thanks for the book.
Hey, it's pretty interesting, huh?
Got it all in one night. Oh, by the way, where's Jody?
Well, he should be along about now.
Oh?
I can't say as I've seen him since sundown yesterday.
Where'd he go?
Snipe hunting.
Snipe hunt? Oh, come on, Dave. Even old Jody wouldn't fall for no stunt like that.
I don't know. Look at that.
I got another one we could play on him.
Oh?
This thing about Ike Devlin's woman hiding out around here.
What about it?
I'll bet you we could name most any girl in town, and Jody believes that she's the one.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I got a silver dollar that says that we could even say it was Jenny Hall, and he'd believe she's the one.
Jenny Hall? You mean the dressmaker?
Well, she's a redhead, just like in the story.
You got yourself a bet.
Oh,
How'd you do?
I almost caught me past of them little devils.
Oh, yeah?
But they got away.
Oh. Well, I told you they were shifty.
Oh, they are. But I'll catch them next time there's a full moon.
I bet you will.
Well, now I think you better hitch up the wagon and go into town for some supplies.
Hey, hold on. Aren't you going to warn him about Miss Jenny Hall first?
Oh, that's right. Jody, I'm going to let you in on a big, deep secret. I want you to keep it quiet, here?
Mr. Edwards, I want to congratulate you on winning that calf roping contest.
Oh, yeah? Thank you.
You were really outstanding. I said to myself, I must tell him.
Excuse me. Laverne?
Well, I'll tell you something, Audrey. There isn't any law against what you've got in mind. But I have a feeling there ought to be.
Nonsense. I've invited a few nice people to our house for dinner and an auction, that's all.
Nice people? Don't you mean rich people who are going to be just a little bit poorer before they escape your dainty little clutches?
You're making it sound like armed robbery. They'll have a good time and they'll be helping a lot of orphans. What's the matter with that?
Absolutely nothing. Now, what next, slave driver? Go get another case?
Please?
Well, just in time.
What is all this junk?
Never mind. Follow me.
Junk, these are antiques for our auction.
We're having an auction.
During the party.
Well, I didn't even know we were having a party.
That's because you never listened to me. We're raising money for the orphanage.
You can put me down for $50.
You're good for $150.
What was that?
I said you're good for $150 at least.
Audrey, you're absolutely right. I never listen. Mother! Oh, Mother, I am starving. I want to start off with a side of beef, 2 gallons of coffee, and I'm going to settle down to some serious eating.
You were not expected for lunch.
Changed my mind. He's still in town?
He's back. As a matter of fact, he's out looking for you.
Oh? What about?
Well, he brought back some disturbing news, and for some strange reason, he thought you would be interested in hearing it, too. Do you know Miss Jenny Hall?
No.
The new dressmaker. I'm sure you've seen her.
Jenny Hall, yeah.
Well, he says it's a ridiculous story all over town. Remember Halyard's book, the one we were talking about a few mornings ago at
Devlin
breakfast?
Gang.
Well, some fool started a story about Jenny. They say she's the missing bandit.
Well, there's a couple of things that I've got to get done.
What about your lunch?
I'm not very hungry. I'll see you later.
Oh.
Good afternoon, Miss Hall.
I'll need some silk thread, 2 spools of the white and 2 of the blue. Oh, and that piece of lavender brocade I looked at the other day, and a roll of that pale blue ribbon. How much will that be?
I'll charge it to your account.
Mr. Simmons, I don't have an account with you.
Well, you have one now.
What in the world is going on? Has this entire town lost its mind?
Miss Hall, I think maybe I can explain. If we could go somewhere and talk in private.
In private?
My name is Nick Barkley, and, well, I
I know who you are, Mr. Barkley. I didn't think you know who I am, though.
Oh, I do, and I'd like very much to...
Well, my shop is at the end of the street. We can go there.
Fine.
Yeah, but Mr. Simmons...
I'll charge it, Miss Hall. I'll charge it.
What's so funny?
You are, Barkley. You figured on sniffing after from here to Kansas?
Hold this. I'll be back in a minute. Take your best shot.
didn't catch the name of the gentleman who just left.
That was Mr. Nick Barkley.
Formidable fellow. And the lady he's escorting is,
Miss Jenny Hall.
better and better. Now, gentlemen, your next drink will be purchased by our country's most successful author and utterly fearless newspaper correspondent.
You, sir?
Ted Halyard, Esquire.
The drinks are on Mr. Halyard. Go to the bar. The drinks are on Mr. Halyard.
Quite sure you wouldn't like a cup of tea.
What? No. Thank you very much.
Won't you sit down, Mr. Barkley? This gown is for your sister Audra. Pretty, isn't it?
Yes, very pretty.
I believe she's having a dinner party next week. Some other ladies have ordered dresses just for it. What are you having so much trouble saying, Mr. Barkley?
Look, it's all my fault. You understand?
No, I can't really say that I do. Won't you sit down, Mr. Barkley?
I mean, this whole thing. This whole thing is going on in town. The people staring at you and everything. Well, it's my fault.
It is?
Yes. Did you ever read the Halyard story about that missing bandit and how he says it was a woman?
The Devlin gang.
Right. Well, this whole town seems to think it's you.
I see. And why should they think that, Mr. Barkley?
Because Jody's got a big mouth, that's why.
Jody?
Yeah, Jody. Yeah, he's a hand. He works for me. Well, he's a little bit short of brains, I tell you. I mean, you can tell him anything, he'll believe it. I mean, if you were to tell him that, well, no matter what you tell him, he'd still believe it. Anyway, I thought I'd try to prove that, well, Jody isn't as stupid as everybody thinks. No. I mean, there were some things that even Jody wouldn't believe. So I told him that you were the missing member of the Devlin gang.
But why me, Mr. Barkley?
Because you're the least likely woman I could think of. And because I'm just about as short of brains as Jody is, that's why. Well, now, I figured you'd come at me with those scissors there.
No, these are just pinking shears. They just keep you from coming unraveled. Oh, you managed to brighten my very dull life, Mr. Barkley. I can't remember the last time I laughed this much.
Would you call me Nick? I'd appreciate it.
All right. Nick, with all this, will you tell me why I haven't had a visit from the sheriff?
Well, I guess that he's got twice the sense I have. Oh, but I'll go right over to his office and straighten all this out as soon as I leave here. Now, Miss Hall.
Oh, just Jenny will be fine.
Thank you. Jenny. Are any of these fancy dresses around here yours?
Mine? Oh, no.
Why not?
Oh, where would I wear them?
To a party. My sister Audra's throwing a party at our house.
Oh, Mr. Barkley.
Nick.
You don't have to do penance for your sins. I absolve you.
Turning me down, right?
Yes. There must be dozens of suitable ladies for you to invite.
Oh, no, I can't think of one. Pick you up 7 o'clock Friday night.
Oh, but I...
7 o'clock Friday night, you be ready. Here? Bye-bye.
Mr. Barkley,
Yeah?
allow me to introduce myself. Ted Halyard.
The writer.
The same.
Didn't know you were in Stockton.
Mr. Barkley, while I was up in Sacramento, I heard a very interesting rumor,
Oh?
which I felt deserved my personal attention.
I see.
How well do you know Miss Hall?
Oh, no, wait a minute. You're not thinking of doing a story about her, are you?
Well, now, she's the one that rode with the Devlin gang.
She never rode with...
Still, Mr. Barkley, if she is the one, I feel that I owe it to my public.
Mr. Halyard. She never rode with the Devlin gang. Let's get that straight.
How can you be so sure?
I'm sure.
I see. You've appointed yourself the girl's protector.
That's right.
Praiseworthy.
Let me spell it out for you, Mr. Halyard. You stay away from Miss Hall. She never rode with the Devlin gang. It was all a very bad joke.
I see. Still, it would make a very interesting follow-up story. Properly handled, of course.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh. I might incur your displeasure.
You might.
Well, in that case, Mr. Barkley, having been a witness to the last time your displeasure was incurred, I shall, of course, abandon the entire project.
Permanently.
Oh, I swear it, Mr. Barkley. On the grave of my sainted mother.
The late ball? You're on. I'll break. I got solids.
Say, listen, I didn't know you knew Ted Halyard.
We've met.
That's all? Sounded more to me like you were old pals.
How do you mean?
You sure didn't leave me much of a shot.
What about Halyard?
Oh, nothing, only I was introduced to him in town today. And he insisted that I bring you a message about his mother.
His mother?
Yeah. He wanted me to tell you that his mother is the oldest living female faro dealer in Boulder City, Colorado. Now, what
else did he say?
Nothing, only he suggested that I read his story in the Morning Eagle. I got it right over there.
What's it say?
Nick, old boy, I think you're going to have time to read it yourself.
Tell me about it, will you?
Well, he suggests, without actually naming names, that he knows the identity of the missing member of the Devlin gang. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's just another classic example of yellow journalism. At its lowest, I might add. Or gossip being dignified in print. Respectable young lady being pilloried by innuendo.
Jared, you're not talking to a jury. It's me, Nick.
Well, I wish I were talking to a jury. I have a feeling that our little dressmaker friend is in a lot of trouble.
Well, if she is, so is Halyard.
Huh? Now.
That's it.
Go on, let's go in.
No. Later. When it's full dark.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, you look great.
Oh, do I really look all right?
Yes, you just look great.
Oh,
Which is no more than I expected.
oh. If anyone ever tells you that you're an expert liar, don't believe him.
All ready?
Fine old wine, a lovely young lady. Oh, if only I were 60 again.
Why, Senator, you're the youngest man I know.
And how much will that nice compliment cost me? Not, mind you, that it won't be worth every penny of it.
Those words came straight from my heart. And you'll find the blank checks over there on the table. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Miss Audra. But what for?
Why, I hear that your mines are producing more silver than any other mines in the West.
They're a very efficiently run operation.
So giving up a day's profits just one day wouldn't hurt too much, would it?
I beg your pardon?
Well, I was thinking of how much the orphanage could do with that money.
Well, it's a very worthy cause, but...
Oh, dear Mr. Patton, thank you. I knew we could count on your generosity. The blank checks are over there.
Audra, shouldn't you be wearing a mask and carrying a gun?
Too obvious.
When do you want me to get this little auction started?
When I tell you to.
Jenny. Oh, Jenny, how nice to see you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barkley.
Come and meet some of our friends.
Jenny Hall, how come?
Why not?
Jenny, may I present Senator Roberts and Mr. Frank Patton, Miss Jenny Hall.
How do you do?
Our pleasure. Are you Miss Hall, the young lady who recently came to the...
Our dressmaker. She made the beautiful gown your wife is wearing tonight. Oh, Nick. Excuse me.
And Jenny?
Thank you.
I have a feeling we've met before.
Really?
A few years ago.
Were you a banker in Kansas?
No.
Then it couldn't have been when I was riding with the Devlin gang.
Miss Hall, I certainly didn't mean to imply anything.
Of course you didn't.
Seeing you here tonight is enough to make anyone realize what a ridiculous story that was. Halyard is a scoundrel.
And a poorly informed one. For example, he never mentions the fact that the missing bandit appeared to be left-handed.
Was he? How do you know that?
I've been doing quite a bit of reading on the subject recently.
That's understandable.
Mm-hmm. I, as you may have noticed, am not left-handed.
I never noticed that.
Oh, well, perhaps that's because I'm ambidextrous. I do things equally well with either hand.
By George, Miss Hall, you're a cool one. I'm really beginning to believe that you're the bandit after all. Or that she's trying to make us suspect her of being one.
Well, now, I'm sure you wouldn't be interested in just a humdrum dressmaker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, gather around. And bear in mind as you do that it's always very pleasant to acquire great pieces of art at a fraction of their original value. It's even more gratifying when you remember that your dollars are going to those who really need them most. Now, what am I offered for this authentic Ming Dynasty vase? Now, gentlemen, before we auction off this last item, I want to thank you for your patience and extreme generosity. Which brings us, gentlemen, to this handsome set of dueling pistols. Beautiful. Once the property of President Andrew Jackson. What am I bid?
$50.
$50. I have $50. Do I hear 75?
75?
75. Do I hear 100, gentlemen? $100.
$100.
$100. 150. Is there a man here generous enough to give us 100?
Miss Hall.
Is something wrong?
Miss Hall, your place was ransacked tonight. My deputy surprised whoever did it, and he's dead.
No. Oh, no. How awful.
Come on, sit down.
Victoria? Miss Hall, I've got to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
No, of course not.
She knows nothing about this, Fred. I'm responsible. I told you about it the other day.
Now, take it easy, Nick. Have you any idea who could have done this thing?
I'm sorry.
Looked like the work of more than one man. Do you know what they were after?
No. I have nothing of any great value.
Miss Hall, why did you come to Stockton?
Well, I'd heard that the town was growing and that it needed another dressmaker.
I see. Miss Hall, where were you in mid-July 2 years ago?
Wait a minute, Fred. You don't have to answer that, Jenny.
No, I don't mind. I believe I was in San Francisco.
Do you think you could get anybody to back that up?
I doubt it. Must I?
Oh, Fred, I couldn't tell you where I was 2 years ago in mid-July. But I certainly wasn't in Kansas robbing banks, and neither was Miss Jenny.
I didn't say she was, but one thought occurs to me. I've got a hunch those men tonight would be harder to convince than Nick and me. And they could come back.
Well, then Jenny will stay with us for a while.
Oh, that's kind of you, but I couldn't stay here indefinitely. I've got work to do.
You listen to what she says, young lady. You'll make my job a lot easier.
Come along.
But...
She'll be all right here.
Yeah, she'll get plenty of protection, but...
But what?
She's never going to be entirely safe until that rumor's killed. The trouble with rumors is that they grow no matter what.
Yeah.
We gotta keep moving, Link. There's bound to be a posse after us. Link, are you listening?
I'm trying not to.
The deputy's dead. Be different if you hadn't killed him.
You figure we should have gone along peaceable to the jailhouse?
Beats dancing from the end of a rope. I say we ought to move on.
Why?
Why?
That's right, why? The only man who could identify us is dead. Sheriff don't know who to look for, let alone where.
Yeah. What Link says makes sense.
So we're lucky. Let's not push our luck. We gotta get out of here and just keep going till we get to Nevada.
And what do we got there?
Jobs, maybe.
Jobs. Breaking our backs for 6 bits a day. If we find Devlin's pile, we're rich.
Devlin's pile could be anywhere. Who knows where it is?
Hey. What do you think?
The dressmaker. I figure she knows where it is, all right.
We didn't find nothing in her shack.
Mm-hmm. Because she's smart.
Well, it could be that she don't know nothing about it. Could be that she's just a dressmaker.
You saw the gun she had in there?
Yeah. Cannon. Could blow a hole in you as big as my fist.
It's mighty strange, isn't it? And I know for a fact that Devlin used to leave his loot with his gal friends.
It's just the wind. It's got him spooked a little bit. Oh. Easy. You can put that gun away.
What do you think we ought to do?
We stop running. Law's gonna be on the lookout for someone on a run.
Why don't we go back to Stockton and check into the hotel?
You know, that's the first thing that you've said that was halfway smart.
I was joshing.
Well, I'm not. The woman's in Stockton, that's where I want to be.
You mean the three of us just ride back into town, bold as brass?
Mm-hmm. Have you got enough nerve?
I ride with you, Link.
You mean?
Morning. You figure on shooting somebody?
Not before breakfast.
You look like quite the expert with that gun.
Thanks. But don't tell anyone, will you? I'm in enough trouble.
All right. But I might also mention that you look like you were born in those ranch clothes.
Audra lent them to me.
Well, they look good on you. Oh, I have to go into town to take care of a few things, but I'll be back later this afternoon. Meanwhile, you want anything, you just holler.
I'd like to go home, Nick.
What's the matter? Aren't we treating you right?
Oh, you've been wonderful. All of you. But I've got work to do.
It'll keep. You stay put.
But
Talk about it later this afternoon when I get back. Meantime, have fun.
Well, now, Mr. Barkley, this is indeed a pleasure. I detest eating alone. Would you care to join me?
I'd sooner eat with a polecat.
Mr. Barkley, I did practice a mild deception on you, I admit that.
You lied.
Well, Mr. Barkley, the freedom of the press, you know. I have an obligation to print the news.
To print the truth.
Well, now, if it's an apology you're after, I'd be most happy to print a retraction. I swear it.
Yeah, you swear on the grave of your sainted mother.
Sheriff, this man has just assaulted me. I demand protection.
You better get out of here.
I beg your pardon?
Leave town. I didn't see him assault you, but I may not be around when he tries it again, either.
Oh. I see. Now, if you'll excuse me. I don't think I'd like to know what you were doing to him, but I figure maybe it was good for his soul.
Amen, Fred. Come on, let's have a beer.
Yeah.
What?
But I would like to talk to you.
All right. Larry, one beer, huh?
Nick, I was just coming out to your place. I've been doing some thinking about Dave Carr.
Dave Carr? What about him?
Yeah, well, he was the first one who brought Jenny Hall's name into this thing, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Well, how come?
What?
How come? Why her? Why not somebody else?
Well, she seemed like the least likely person to be running with an outlaw gang, is all.
Well, maybe I can tell you something you don't know. I hear your friend Jenny is a dead shot.
Who says so?
Luke Jenkins. He saw her practicing.
Luke Jenkins? Oh, Fred. He's so drunk most of the time that if he's lucky, he can see the nearest saloon.
All right, that could be, but Luke said he saw a woman down by the river firing at a target last week.
And Luke says it was Jenny, huh?
Well, he didn't get a good look at her. She took off before he could see her up close, but he did see the target. Said he could cover the holes in it with the palm of his hand.
Well, now, that doesn't prove a thing, Fred. Could have just been a woman alone, practicing self-protection, and she got very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave Carr could have brought up her name for no very good reason, but I'd still like to talk to him.
Well, he's out with the herd.
All right, when he gets back.
All right. Good. Car with him?
Nope, looks like he had to.
Without a salary?
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Well, it doesn't. When was the last time anyone saw him?
Well, this afternoon before chow. He was at the back of the herd. First they figured he was out chasing strays, but there weren't any strays. Maybe he got tired of biting the dust back there.
Where'd they all chow down?
Just the other side of Dry Gulch.
Feel like taking a ride with me?
No, but I will.
Well, thank you. Buzzards are about?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I know. Go take a look.
Come on.
Heath. Knife. I roughed him up a little bit, too.
His horse is gone.
Oh, no, it isn't the horse. I got a feeling it's the Devlin's gold.
What would Carr know about it?
Well, he's the one that brought Jenny's name up, remember?
Were you trying to say Jenny really had something to do with the Devlin gang?
I'm not sure anymore. Heath, you ever heard of a seamstress who's a dead shot with a rifle?
No.
Jenny is.
Well, what does that prove?
Now, you think about it. We're the ones that said it was ridiculous that she could never be a part of the Devlin gang. But I never heard her say it. I mean, loud and clear. And what do we know about her background? About as much as we know about Dave Carr's here, which is absolutely nothing. You, fetch the sheriff, will you, Heath?
Where are you going?
I'm going to talk to Miss Jenny Hall right now.
like that.
Where's Jenny?
She's gone.
Gone? Gone where?
For town.
Well, why didn't you stop her?
How could I have stopped her? Besides, I didn't even know she'd left till Silas told me.
Sheriff said you were pretty much of a dead shot. Seems to me you're a pretty good horsebacker, too.
Oh, I see.
Oh, you do, huh?
You've begun to believe your own joke.
Is it a joke? Where were you going?
To town. Because I'm just a dressmaker, no matter what you think. And I was beginning to feel like a prisoner.
All right, Miss Dressmaker, you better hear this. Dave Carr is dead back there. Somebody must have figured he knew something.
But he couldn't have. There was nothing for him to know.
Nothing?
Nothing. It's still my fault. All I had to do was tell the truth.
What is the truth?
2 years ago, in mid-July, I was at Fort Laramie in Wyoming.
Now, why didn't you tell that to me or the sheriff?
I don't know. I've been so unhappy, so ignored. I felt like a stranger everywhere. You changed all that. By accident. Suddenly, people paid me attention. And it didn't matter why. I guess I've been using you ever since.
Who are you, Jenny?
My real name's Hollister. My father was commandant at Laramie. That's where I learned how to ride and shoot.
And make dresses?
No. I learned that after I ran away.
What'd you run away for?
Well, there was this sergeant at the post. I was foolish enough to believe that he loved me. Turned out that all he really wanted was the commandant's daughter. My father died, and my sergeant all but deserted rather than marry plain Jenny Hollister. Well, I just couldn't face people after that, so I left home and came to... Who are they?
I don't know. Come on. One of them's riding Dave Carr's horse.
What?
Behind that rock.
Howdy! Is this the Barkley Ranch?
That's right.
Good. My partners and me, we found this horse. Thought it might belong to you.
Stay right where you are.
Oh, well, that's not very friendly.
I wouldn't try that. You'll never make it.
There are 3 of us, Barkley.
Try it, and there'll only be 2 of you.
All we want is the girl. Send her down and we'll ride on.
You're wasting your time. That girl knows nothing.
Well, then there's no harm in my talking to her, is there?
Now, the next one is going to be right between the eyes. Back off.
Back off. Nice and slow. and the girl down.
If I went down there...
You forget it. Here. Load this and hang on. You ran away, huh? Well, I can hardly believe that. I can't see you running away from anyone or anything.
I ran. I've been running ever since.
How's it coming?
First time I ever shot at a man.
And the last time. You could have been killed. Now, come on, get back.
I wouldn't want to be alive if they get us.
Jenny, Jenny. Jenny.
Well, I guess this is goodbye.
You'll always be welcome in our home and in Stockton.
I should say the population of Stockton should double in the next few years. Could make you a very wealthy woman.
Oh, thanks. But I belong in Laramie. If I stayed here, I'd still be running away from myself. I'm through with that. I'm not Jenny Hall, and I'm not an outlaw girl. The pretending's over. I'm just Jenny Hollister, good or bad.
Well, that's plenty good enough.
Will you write to us, Jenny Hollister?
Of course I will, Mrs. Barkley.
Let's go.
Howdy. I was wondering if I could hitch a ride into town with you.
Well, I'll tell you, Jody. I heard tell that Miss Hall here has a gun concealed in that sling of hers.
Oh, you're just funning me.
Get in the...
Well, it would appear we're alone.
It's past 10 o'clock, Mr. Barkley.
Well, it can't be.
Don't worry about it, Miss Randall. You two just take your time.
Thank you, Charles.
Do you know what this train is?
No, tell me.
Something out of time and place. It's like traveling in another dimension. These last 4 days didn't happen. None of this is real.
You're wrong, Beth. It's real. Very real. You know, it kind of frightens me when I think that I plan to stay in Washington for another day. Miss this train.
What made you change your mind?
I don't know. All I know is that you're here and so am I. I think my whole life has been changed around. I think I knew this was going to happen the first moment I laid eyes on you.
You sure that's not the champagne?
No, it's not the champagne.
I would like to make a toast. To the Coastal and Western Railroad.
Here's to that.
Denver coming up, Miss Randall.
Beth, I'm going to see you again.
Oh, I hope so. Will you write to me?
Every day.
Jerry, you stay here, please.
Bye, Miss Randall.
Oh. Here you are, Charles.
I'll get your change.
That's all right. Keep it.
Well, thank you, sir.
Charles.
Yes, sir?
I want you to take my baggage out of the next car and put it off the train.
But I thought you were going on to Stockton, Mr. Barkley.
I've changed my mind.
Let me give you a hand.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Like you're storing up for the winter.
We're a little short-handed at the ranch. I'm just trying to make every trip count, so.
Jared back yet?
No, not yet.
When do you expect him?
Now, that is a very interesting question. We got a letter from him just the other day from Denver. It seems that... Cass Hyatt.
That's right. The governor gave him a pardon, didn't you know?
No, I didn't.
Jared knew. I thought he told you.
Probably didn't want to worry us. What's he doing back in Stockton?
This was his home before he went to prison.
Well, I hope his home is the only reason for being here.
So I told Kimball that we'd hold off making any decision till Jared got back. That all right with you?
Well, I guess it's gonna have to be. I just don't get it. What Jared's doing in Denver all this time.
Oh, I'm sure he'll tell us all about it when he comes back.
Well, now, I wouldn't be too sure. He may keep that a secret, too.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, he never did tell us that Cass Hyatt had been pardoned.
Cass Hyatt?
Saw him in town just this morning. He's out of Quentin.
Well, you don't think he still holds a grudge against Jared, do you?
I don't know. Hyatt said that Jared framed him just to make a name for himself and swore to get even with him if it was the last thing he ever did.
7 years is a long time. A man changes.
I hope so. It's Jared.
Jared! Hello, Nick.
Why didn't you let us know you were coming home tonight?
Well, I was going to, but
Got lost.
How are you?
Well, what in Denver took you so long?
Well, I guess the best explanation is for you to meet her yourself.
Her?
Mother, this is Beth.
How do you do?
Hello, Mrs. Barkley.
It's my brother Nick.
Howdy.
Brother Heath.
How do you do?
Well, I guess there's no other way to say it. Beth and I are married.
Married?
You don't mean it.
Well, where? When?
3 days ago in Denver.
Well, welcome to the Barkley branch.
Thank you, Mrs. Barkley. Forgive us for not sending you a telegram, but Jared wanted to surprise you.
He sure did.
Glad to tell. We met on the train from Washington. Beth was on her way to Denver to teach school.
I got off the train and there was Jared.
Now, Mother, Beth wanted to wait and be married here, but I didn't want to give her a chance to change her mind.
Well, now, you should have let us know why. We'd have thrown you a party that all of California had never forgotten.
But don't think you did us out of a celebration. Nick, let's get that champagne.
You bet.
You see, I warned you about those two.
Come in. I have so many questions to ask, I don't know where to begin. Oh, my goodness. I just thought of something.
What's that?
I'm a mother-in-law. Now, How do you think that looks, Silas?
Oh, it looks fine, Mrs. Barkley.
Well, what about the flowers? Do you think they're all right?
Lovely.
Well, I don't know. I just...
Mother?
don't know. Nick, don't shout like
Well,
that.
why?
Beth and Jared are still asleep.
Asleep at 10 o'clock in the morning?
No, you get it.
Oh, yeah.
No, Silas, you get it. You hold these. I'll get the
Well, I've
coffee.
never seen you like this before. You're as jumpy as a frog with a hiccup.
I've never had a daughter-in-law in the house before.
Well, now, what is so special about that?
If you don't know, there's no use in my explaining it. Besides, wait until you're a mother and...
It's Miss Brady, ma'am.
Tell her I'll be with her in a few minutes.
What?
Well, she's going to help us with the reception.
A reception when?
For Beth and Jared, Friday evening. Or did I decide on Saturday? Oh, well, it doesn't make any difference. There's so much to do. Invitations to get out, and the house has to be clean. I do wish Audra were here.
Well, now, Philadelphia's not that far. I'm sure she'll make it.
Mother!
Quiet!
Nick!
What?
Oh.
Who was at the door?
Keep it down.
Well, with all this noise, it doesn't matter.
Where you going with that?
I'm taking it up to Beth and Jared.
Well, they're not there.
What?
Well, they sneaked out about an hour ago and said they were going into town. They told me to tell you. But I guess I forgot.
Well, madam, this is where I slave.
Jared Barkley, attorney at law.
Better be careful. Stockton is a conservative town. People will talk. Shall I go in?
Hello, Barkley.
Hello, Hyde.
You don't seem very surprised to see me.
I'm not. I heard over a month ago the governor was going to give you a pardon.
Oh? I'm surprised you didn't tell him he was making a mistake.
I'm an attorney, not a judge.
No hard feelings then?
Suppose you tell me.
None here?
Jared, who's that man?
Nobody important. The important thing is how you're going to change my office all around once you've seen it.
And then tomorrow we'll go into town and buy you a new dress for the reception. Would you like that?
Yes, thank you, I would. Here, is this enough?
Oh, fine, thank you. Now, would you like a taste?
Yes.
That's one of Jared's favorite dishes.
That's good. You know, when I think of all the things I have to learn about Jared, they're the little things as well as the important ones. I wonder if we shouldn't have waited.
Oh, no, Beth, no. You did what was right for both of you. You loved each other and trusted each other. However, if there's anything that husband of yours won't tell you about himself, you let me know.
Do you mean that?
Yes.
Who is Cass Hyatt? Jared and I met him when we were in town yesterday. There was something about the way he looked at Jared that frightened me. I asked about him, and Jared wouldn't tell me anything.
Well, there's nothing to tell, really. It happened a long time ago, and...
Beth? Where is everybody? Beth?
Mr. Barkley.
Ah, there you are, young lady.
Well, now, what are you doing home at this hour? Have you forgotten you have a wife to support?
And have you forgotten that we have a date?
We do?
Didn't I tell you?
No.
Oh, well, I just have.
Well, where are we going?
That, my darling, is a secret.
Well, give me 5 minutes to change.
I'll give you 5, you'll take 15, and be ready in 30.
Somehow I get the feeling that you're very much in love with that girl.
Now, whatever gave you that idea? Here we are.
Oh, Jared, it's a beautiful
think so?
Yes.
Come on. You know, ever since I was old enough to scramble up into a saddle, I've been coming up here. When I was about 10, I used to come up here and cry whenever I thought the world was being mean to me. And when I was about 20, I used to come up here and write poetry. Some of the worst poetry you've ever read in your life. I think that's when I must have named it Isla del Cielo.
Island of the skies. Jared, that's beautiful.
Our island, Beth, if you want it.
Ours?
To build our home here. Watch our children struggle and grow. Probably cry a lot. Maybe someday read some of their bad poetry. Yeah, what's this? I hope those are tears of happiness.
Jared? Please, let's not have a big house.
All right.
And promise me one thing.
What?
Let's build a house without a roof, so we don't have to shut out all of this lovely sky.
A house with no roof. I'll remember that.
Jared, look at all of these lovely flowers.
Beth! Oh, my God, Beth!
You've been after me for 2 days now. Asking me the same questions and getting the same answers.
Sit down, Hyatt.
I won't sit down. You got no right to hold me like this.
You threatened Jared Barkley.
It was 7 years ago. I've forgotten all about it. Besides, it's got nothing to do with Barkley's wife.
You could have killed her by mistake.
Sure, I could have killed her. Been anywhere near where she was killed, but I wasn't. I told you where I was. Now you check it out.
I checked it.
Either you charge me with killing that woman, and do it right now, or I'm gonna walk out of here.
Fred?
Sorry.
Come in, come
Sorry I didn't get to the funeral this morning. I was busy with Cass Hyatt.
That's all right, we understand.
Jared here?
I'm here, Fred.
Jared, I'm glad. I wanted to explain to you about Hyatt.
Has he talked yet?
Well, he didn't confess, if that's what you mean.
That's exactly what I mean.
Jared, I had to let him go. I had no other choice.
What do you mean you had no choice?
Hyatt says he was in French camp. He went up on the morning boat.
He's a liar.
I checked out his story. There are people up there who saw him there.
He could have gotten a horse at the livery stable and ridden back here in an hour.
He didn't get a horse at the livery stable.
Well, then he
I
took
checked
one up
that
there
too.
earlier and had it waiting for
There's
him.
no proof of that, Jared. Now, Hyatt is right. If he hadn't made that threat against you years ago, I wouldn't have had any reason to bring him in the first place. I had to let him go. You're a lawyer. You should understand this.
All I understand is that my wife is dead and that Cass Hyatt murdered her.
Could have been an accident. Somebody out potting rabbits got scared after
You
they
really
seen
believe that?
I'm trying to tell you it's possible.
All you're trying to do is excuse yourself for letting a cold-blooded killer free.
Jared.
It's all right, Victoria. Jared, I'm sorry.
And that's the end of it.
There's nothing more I can do.
Well, there's something more I can do.
No, Jared.
Where did he go?
He's gone. He left town right after I released him.
Are you going to tell me where he went?
I don't know, and I wouldn't tell you if I did.
I'll find him.
Now, Jared, you listen to me. I didn't know Beth very well, but I do know revenge is not what she would have wanted. Beth loved you very much. Don't destroy the memory of her love by destroying yourself.
Beautiful spot. Jared, please let's not have a big house. And promise me one thing. Let's build a house without a roof. Oh, Jared, look at all of these beautiful flowers.
After Hyatt.
You don't know where he is.
I'll find him.
Jared, if Cass Hyatt did kill Beth.
He killed her.
All right, say he did and you kill him, then what?
I'll turn myself into the nearest lawman.
And ruin your life.
All the life I had went into that grave this morning.
That's not true. You think it is, you believe it, but it is not true. Oh, Jared, I know the emptiness you must be feeling. But killing Cass Hyatt is not going to fill that emptiness. It will still be there.
There's no use talking about
There
it.
has to be. Somehow I have to make you understand that you're turning your back on everything you ever stood for as a man and as a lawyer. The things Beth loved you for and married you for.
Let me handle this. You go on upstairs, Mother. Please. Now, you hear me. I'm not here to argue with you or plead with you. I'm here to say one thing. If you want to get out of this room, you're going to have to go through me. Oh, Jared.
Mr. Barkley, I'm closing up now.
Not just yet, Shad.
What can I do for you?
Do you know a man named Cass Hyatt?
Well, yeah.
Where'd he go?
Why,
Now, don't lie to me, Shad. I know he left town today, and I know he didn't ride out. He didn't go by stage or boat. Now, that leaves your train. Where'd he go?
Mr. Barkley, the sheriff told me not to say anything.
All right. Let's see, you had one train out of here this afternoon, the 315 South. That goes through Lathrop, Salida, Modesto.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Lathrop, Salida, Modesto, Winton, Grass Falls, Fry's Junction, Fry's Junction. I had a brother who lived there. That's where he went, isn't it? Fry's Junction.
No.
That's what I thought.
Somebody chasing you, boy?
I just saw Jared Barkley.
Barkley?
He rode into Rock Point while I was loading supplies.
You sure it was Barkley?
I recognized him from seeing him at your trial in Stockton. You lied to me, didn't you?
No.
You killed Barkley's wife.
I didn't.
That's why he's after you.
Cliff, you gotta believe me. I didn't kill that woman. Barkley thinks I did, but I didn't.
Get out, Cass. Huh? The only time you ever come here is when you're in trouble. I'm fed up with you and your lies. You saddle up and get out of here whilst you got the chance.
Now, Cliff, you gotta help me. The two of us could take Barkley. We'd be within our rights if we did.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm innocent, I tell you.
Get out! Ain't here, Mr. Barkley. I saw you ride into town. I warned Cass. He rode out of here about an hour ago. You can see for yourself. You mean to kill him, don't you? Cass is my brother. I don't care what he's done. You got no right to come in here taking the law into your own hands. You can't see. Oh.
Now I'm going to ask you just once. Where did he go?
I won't tell you.
Where?
I won't tell you. Please don't.
Where did he go?
he went south.
South where?
I don't know. I just told him to saddle up and get out. He went south. That's the truth. I swear it. Cass said he didn't kill your wife.
He's a liar.
Doesn't it worry you that you might be wrong?
Not a bit.
Then what makes you any better than him?
Get me a bottle, honey. I'm dry as a prairie wolf, and I'm beginning to howl.
Morning, Mr. Barclay. Dr. Saxton. This is Zach Fain, the sheriff. We found your name in your wallet.
Where am I?
Rimfire. You rode in yesterday, Mr. Barkley. If what you were doing could be called riding. Doc says somebody tried to part your hair with a 30-30. What happened?
That doesn't concern you, Sheriff.
Now. You should stay put, Mr. Barkley. You should rest for a couple of days at least.
I haven't got a couple of days.
Well, now, what's your hurry, Mr. Barkley? And if you're going to try to tell me it don't concern me, don't bother. You're in Rimfire. In Rimfire, everything concerns me.
Is that right?
You see, I'm just a natural-born snoop. And a worrier. I worry a lot. Especially about hombres who almost get their heads blown off. Now, you tell me what happened.
All right, Sheriff. I'm after the man who murdered my wife. When I find him, I'm gonna kill him.
If he did what you say he did, how come the law ain't after him?
The law can't do anything about him.
So what you've done is sort of appointed yourself to take the law's place.
That's right.
Who is the man, Mr. Barkley?
His name is Hyatt. Cass Hyatt. You know him?
He rode in yesterday, too. He got himself liquored up. Started an argument in a poker game, went for his gun.
What happened?
Nobody got hurt. But I arrested him anyway for disturbing the peace.
He's in jail.
So you see, you ain't gonna get a chance to kill him for at least 30 days.
What's the matter? Like to rest a while?
Do you?
No.
How do you feel?
Something with 4 legs and horns. When are you gonna let me out of here?
I told you last night. You're in here for 30 days.
You can't keep me in here without a trial.
You want a trial, you'll have one. As soon as the circuit judge comes around again.
When'll that be?
A couple of months. I got some news for you, Hyde.
For me?
Something that might take the itch out of wanting to get out of here so fast.
What is it?
A man named Barkley's in town. I'll bet you thought you got rid of him, didn't you?
Did he, tell you why he was after me?
Says he wants to kill you.
Well, what are you gonna do about it?
Me?
You're the law.
Well, now that's true. But on the other hand, Barkley's just saying he's going to kill you isn't a crime.
He means it.
I think he does. When I told him he couldn't get at you for 30 days, I thought that might take some of the steam out of him. But it didn't. Not a bit. The man's cool as ice all the way through. 30 days, 30 years. He'll be out there waiting for you.
I didn't kill his wife. I didn't kill his wife.
I sort of figure you for a liar, Hyatt. But it don't make any difference. You're talking to the wrong man. Well, the doc couldn't keep you corralled, huh, Mr. Barkley?
I want to talk to you, Sheriff.
Sure. Sure, Mr. Barkley. Sit down. You know, I used to do some marshaling up your way once. Little mining camp called Hironsburg, upriver from Stockton. You know it? We used to get a lot of riffraff there, just like here. Only that don't trouble me much. I ride a town with a light rein. I don't much care who a man is, where he comes from, what he's done somewhere else. Just so long as he behaves himself in rimfire. Saddle up and ride, Mr. Barkley. I don't want you to misunderstand me. I know how you feel.
Do you?
That's right. I lost a woman once. The first Mrs. Fane. She was shot and killed by a drunken cowhand hoorah in the town. I was in Fort Bannister. I was a young kid deputy. It was a long time ago. God knows I wanted to kill him. And I couldn't tell you to this day why I didn't. But I didn't. Instead, I arrested him. I guarded him, I fed him, I sat with him through his trial. And the hardest thing I ever did in my life was to unlock that cell door and set him free. The judge dismissed the charge against him.
Where's the moral to your story, Sheriff?
No moral, Mr. Barkley. No moral. No point. Not even an ending. Just sort of faded away. Maybe you loved your woman more than I did. Go home, Mr. Barkley.
No.
All right. What do you want to talk to me about?
How much money do you make?
Not much.
How much?
$50 a month and all I can steal.
$600 a year. How would you like to make 2 years' salary in just 5 minutes?
You didn't have that when the doc and I went through your wallet.
There's a bank in this town.
What do I have to do for that, Mr. Barkley? Turn Hyde loose?
That's right.
I already told you. He's in here for 30 days.
He hasn't been convicted of anything.
Well, now that's true. But we do things a little different here in Rimfire, Mr. Barkley. Seeing as how we're off the beaten path, we don't see the circuit judge too often. So a man usually serves his sentence before he has a trial.
Turn him loose.
I'll say one thing for you, Barkley. You sure know how to tempt a man. No. I don't want any trouble in my town.
You've already got trouble. It doesn't matter whether it happens now or 30 days from now, it's gonna happen. I'll be waiting outside.
Barkley! If you kill Hyatt, I'm going to have to arrest you for murder. And if you try to resist, I'm going to have to kill you. Either way, you're going to be a dead man.
Turn him loose.
What are you doing?
Letting you go. You're free.
No.
Get out.
Now, look, you can't do this.
Get out!
You can't do this.
Get in!
Just a minute. Wait a minute.
Put it on.
No. No. He'll kill me.
Put it on! Or I'll throw you out in the street without it.
Why are you doing this?
Maybe because you remind me just a little bit of a drunken cowhand I used to know. Now you put that on and get out of here.
Barkley. Barkley, listen to me. You got the wrong man.
Draw your gun.
That's the truth.
It doesn't matter to me whether you draw or not. I'll kill you where you stand.
Sheriff, stop him! I'm unarmed. I killed her. Now you arrest me. You arrest me here. I killed her, I admit it. I was trying to get him for what he did to me. I hit her instead. Now you gotta protect me!
I'll kill you with my bare hands.
You're gonna have to shoot through me to get to him, Jared.
Sheriff.
Charges against my brother?
None that I can think of. Here. This belongs to him.
I saw the sheriff when I was in town this afternoon. They sentenced Cass Hyatt. They gave him life. Don't feel cheated, Jared.
I don't. All I feel is shame. I discovered something inside myself that I never knew existed. I pray to God I never find it again.
But just forget about it. All of it.
All of it.
No, not Beth.
She was part of it.
No, Jared, no. Not that part. Not the ugliness.
Well, I got 100 suit of clothes, a 40-room mansion in San Francisco, but I am still the hungry kid that you knew in law school. Can't get over how well you look. Backwoods law must agree with you.
Well, now, I wouldn't exactly call Stockton backwoods.
Yes, I know. I hear you've been doing pretty well yourself, as a matter of fact. Cattle, horses, gold mines, and a couple of 1,000 acres of timber I would be happy to take off your hands if you will accept my client's generous offer.
Now, Nat, that's what surprises me.
What?
Well, a famous lawyer like you involved in something so mundane as land purchase?
Do I detect a note of envy in that statement?
No, just surprise.
Gentlemen, I'll tell you a little secret. Only a fool gets so famous that he turns down an honest dollar. Come on over to the hotel, I'll buy you some lunch.
You two go ahead. I wouldn't want to get in the way of an old college reunion.
Well, all right, but don't you get lost. I want you to witness some signatures later.
$10 says he won't make it.
20 says he will.
Watch it now. Come on! Charlie, get down from there. 3 bottles, Charlie. I'll make it 3, here. Come on now, Charlie. I'm counting on you, boy.
Well, what do you think, Doc?
Well, I think you owe me $20.
I mean him.
Mr. Barkley, I'm only a dentist, but if you want my unprofessional opinion, I'd say he's still among the living.
He got what he deserved. Came in here begging for booze.
Oh, careful now, Gus. You're desecrating a sacred cow. Old Charlie Whitehorse here is an honest-to-goodness war hero.
That's enough, Parker.
Don't get yourself all riled up, Heath. Gus here's an old friend, 2nd Georgia Volunteers. Just want him to know the truth about Charlie so he wouldn't call him a bum. See, old Charlie here's got a nose like a hound dog. One day he's sniffing around Chickamauga. What do you suppose he smelled?
Booze?
No, sir. He smelled an ambush. Saved his whole regiment, including Mr. Heath Barkley here, who's been licking his boots ever since.
You hurt this man again, I'll kill you. Come on, you used to be the biggest eater in the regiment. In fact, you were the only man I ever knew that actually liked hardtack.
I think about those days.
You know, we got a half a dozen broncs that need busting. You get yourself in shape. I'll talk to Nick.
Nick will never take me back.
He would if you'd quit the booze. Well, it's a lot easier than falling off balconies, isn't it?
I don't know.
Charlie, I'll help you. Take you to our lion shack, dry you out. Whip you like a father if you even mention whiskey.
I never knew my father. I asked about him once, and my mother said he died in a saloon.
Runs in the blood? Is that what you're trying to say? Listen, I saw you refuse whiskey while the doctor was cutting steel out of your body in 4 different places. You never even tasted the stuff until this town tried to make you a hero. Charlie the Conquering Hero.
I never wanted it.
You mean you couldn't handle it?
I just wanted to be left alone.
You let all the backslappers and handshakers turn you into a drunk. Let them turn you into the town bum, and that suited you just fine, didn't it? Charlie, all you got to do is say yes. I'll make sure you've got that job. You can start just as clean as the day you were born. Tomorrow morning, you'll be at the ranch. At 6 o'clock sharp.
You know, I was just thinking. Maybe we ought to invite Mr. Springer for dinner. Roast pork and apple pie might make him a little more receptive.
Don't kid yourself, Mother. He's not interested in the home cooking. All he wants to do is go back to San Francisco and tell that client that he got the land for a lot less than he expected to pay.
You're not going to give in to him, are you?
Oh, we'll shout at each other for a little while and both agree on the price we knew it was going to be all the time.
Sounds like a lot of foolishness to me.
Yeah, that's the way it's done.
Aren't you going to eat your breakfast?
What time is it?
It's about 8 o'clock.
You don't really expect Charlie to show up, do you?
He just might straighten out if people around here would give him a chance.
How many chances does it take?
Quiet, please, please. This is an act of reverence, and it deserves your most reverent attention.
Charlie, don't! Don't!
Take it easy. It was an accident.
You shouldn't have come in here, boy. You just made the sorriest mistake of your life.
Sheriff, this way, quick.
Murder. Plain murder. I'll handle this report back.
Don't waste your time. He's dead as you get. And if Doc Tully had hit him with an axe handle, I'd be dead as Parker here.
How about it, Doc?
It's true, I saw it. Heath Barkley shot Parker down like a dog.
Too bad your brother wasn't killed. It'd been easier than hanging.
Heath, are you all right?
He's got a lump in his head, but I don't think it's serious.
Jared, they say I shot Parker.
I know.
I might have killed him with my bare hands, but not with a gun.
2 eyewitnesses saw him shoot Parker. 3 more saw him come in the barn, and maybe a dozen others heard him make threats. And the barrel of his gun was still warm when I got here.
Heath, tell me what happened.
I walked into the barn. I saw Parker and that other friend of his.
Go ahead.
That's all I remember.
He's got a bump on his head. It's a wonder he can remember anything.
2 eyewitnesses saw him shoot him.
Said they saw him.
I'm not a lawyer, Jared. I'm not going to argue with you. But this is something a jury will have to decide.
Saves 100 lives. When he dies, 3 people. Private Charlie Whitehorse. Killed in action by a barroom dandy and a second-rate traveling dentist.
Hold that, me. Yes, sir. Don't you worry at all. Now you take a big swig out of that. Big one. Ain't gonna hurt you. You feel better, don't you, huh? Afternoon, Jared.
Afternoon, Doc. Don't let me interrupt. Just go right on with whatever you're doing.
Anything particular you wanted?
No. Just taking a walk, Doc. I think a lot better when I walk.
I hear they got a date set for the trial.
A week from Wednesday. Judge Lansbury.
What a mess. What a terrible mess.
That little stunt that killed Charlie, Doc. People say that was your idea.
God forgive me. I never thought he'd do it.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much. Man's liable to think up all kinds of crazy things when he's had too much to drink.
You'd like to make a fool out of me, wouldn't you? You'd like to get me up on that stand and say old Doc Tully was drunk, that this whole thing's a figment of his imagination. But it isn't. It happened. I saw him. He was insane. He shot Parker down like a dog.
Where were you when the shots were fired?
Well, I was over there by the door.
Why'd you come in here? Why'd you go back in the barn with Doc Tully?
I come to get some help.
You must be some kind of a clairvoyant.
What's that?
You came for help before the shots were fired? Obviously, you knew something was going to happen.
Well, I didn't figure they were sitting down to a game of cards.
Did you see Parker go in the barn?
No.
Then how'd you know he was in there?
He guessed. The same as your brother.
Mr. Vanderveer, what a coincidence. I was just reading your statement over at the sheriff's office.
Did you like it?
Fascinating. I didn't believe a word of it.
The sheriff does, and the jury will.
What surprised me the most was that part about your being a land speculator.
Well, that shouldn't surprise a smart fella like you.
I don't remember ever seeing any deeds registered under the name of Vanderveer.
Atlas. That's the name on the deed. We were partners. Until your brother shot him down like a dog.
You and Doc Tully keep using that same phrase. Shot him down like a dog.
It's an adequate description.
Funny you both should come up with the same one.
Not as funny as that story your brother came up with. I'll bet he'll swear he doesn't remember a thing. Right up to the day they hang him.
We brought you some dinner.
No, thanks. I'm not hungry.
Oh, we saw Heath.
Yeah, he finally found out what was wrong with old Sheriff Madden's stomach. It's his wife's cooking. Hey, we got a letter from Audra. Rained the whole time she was in Rome. She got 3 proposals the first day she was there, though. One from a bona fide duke. How do you like that?
Jared, do you think it's fair not telling Audra about this?
What good would that do? And, Mother, will you stop fussing around with that?
Well, you had
Look,
that
I
something...
said I'm not hungry.
Oh, you better come on home and get yourself some rest. You're going to be all burnt out by the time that trial starts.
You take care of you, Nick. I'll take care of me.
Well, maybe Heath's memory will come back.
Even if it does, even if he screams his innocence to the heavens above, 2 eyewitnesses are going to stand up in court and swear that they saw him shoot Parker Atlas down like a dog.
Parker Atlas wasn't worth his salt.
That may be, but he was the son of one of the most respected ranchers in this valley, and don't think that won't count with the jury. And you want to talk about motive? There isn't a man, woman, or child in Stockton who didn't know how Heath felt about Charlie Whitehorse.
Jared, I'm sorry. I saw a light here. I didn't know you had company.
That's all right, Nat. Come on in. Nathan Springer, this is my mother.
How do you do, ma'am?
My brother, Nick.
Howdy. How do you do, Nick?
What are you doing here, Nat? I thought you went back to San Francisco.
My wife threw me out of the house. She literally threw me out of the house. She said, Nat, you haven't had a vacation in 6 years. If you don't get some rest, you're going to drop dead from a heart attack. That's all I had to hear, so I grabbed my bag, came back to Stockton, found the softest bed at the hotel, and there I intend to sleep for 2 solid weeks.
Well, I hope you come out of hibernation long enough to have dinner with us.
It would be a pleasure, ma'am. Oh, by the way, Jared, I've got some news for you. The news out of San Francisco is Danny Manis is going to prosecute your brother.
Who?
He wants to be governor, ma'am. You get to be governor by prosecuting cases that give you publicity.
Is he any good?
Well, let's put it this way, Nick. He hasn't lost a case in 5 years. Oh, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. He'll be up against the best. Well, I guess I'll run along. Pleasure meeting you, ma'am. Nick, pleasure meeting you.
Same.
Jared, if you need any help, just holler.
Just a little vacation, huh?
May we proceed with the selection of the jurors, Mr. Manis?
You're Mrs. Bacon, aren't you? Mrs. Florence Bacon.
Yes, sir.
And now, Mrs. Bacon, are you acquainted with the accused?
Well, I know who he is.
Have you formed any opinion concerning his character?
Well, he always seemed to be a real nice young man.
Mrs. Bacon, are you aware that nice young men are capable of savage and lawless acts? They're capable, shall we say, of murdering other nice young men in fits of brutal rage.
That's a totally inflammatory remark.
It was not a remark, Mr. Barclay. It was a question.
Your Honor, I must...
If I follow Mr. Manis correctly, I think he wants to know if this lady is capable of rational judgment, which is well within the limits of proper inquiry.
This juror is acceptable to the prosecution, Your Honor.
You're smiling, Mr. Hartzell. Is there something about these proceedings that amuses you? Very well, then. Let me ask you this. One of the prosecution's star witnesses in this case is a known drunk. Objection! Would you be willing to take the word of a drunk in a case that carries the possible penalty of death?
What kind of an omniscient being do you think you are? Apparently, he knows what I'm going to do before I do it.
Now, wait a minute. Everyone in town knows you're going to use Doc Tully. Silence. Oh, no, wait a minute. Before he was bawling Jared out because he busted in, now he's doing the same thing.
Order. Any more of that, and I'll try this case before an empty courtroom. Sit down, sir. Gentlemen, I think we had better adjourn until tomorrow morning.
Come in. Oh, Victoria.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. Please, sit down. Whoever invented these things didn't have summer in mind. I'll wager 10 years from now, judges won't even be wearing them. They're a holdover from the Middle Ages, when people were awed by ceremonial ritual and pomposity and all the rest of it. Victoria, I'm not even going to comment on Nick. But Jared, that's something else. That's something very, very dangerous.
I know.
A doctor doesn't operate on a member of his family. How can you expect a lawyer to act with any degree of emotional stability when he's defending the life of someone he loves?
What would you advise?
Get him off the case, Victoria. I don't care how you do it, but do it. Otherwise, Heath doesn't have a chance.
Jared?
Well, which was it? That famous story about how he took you to your first dance? Or one of his enlightened lectures on the obsolescence of the law? I saw you go into his chambers.
Jared, Judge Lansbury sent for me. He's concerned about you. He feels that because of your personal involvement, you could use help.
I'm surprised he didn't ask you to have me withdraw from the case. You know, if this weren't so tragic, it'd really be funny. Daniel Manus, that great champion of justice, who'd sell his rotten soul for one line of publicity, comes all the way here to prosecute Heath. The presiding judge tells me I need help, and by sheer coincidence, one of the best lawyers in the state just happens to be registered at the local hotel. Because his wife throws him out of her 40-room mansion and tells me to go take a little holiday. Manus and Springer, those two alley cats. They've been waiting for the last 5 years just for the chance to tear at each other's throats.
But if Springer could help us, does it really matter?
That's the funny part. It does. There's not a thing I can do about it. Let the record show, Your Honor, that in addition to myself, the defendant will be represented by Mr. Nathan Springer of San Francisco.
So, you got nothing to say, huh?
Mr. Barkley's questioned me a dozen times. I'm tired of being questioned.
That's what Manners told you to say, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah, I don't have to say nothing until he puts me on the stand.
Well, that's true. That's true indeed. Just a darn shame.
What is it?
Little fellas like you, always getting caught in a squeeze.
What do you mean?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
Not to me, it's not.
Pete, let me give you a little lesson. Money is power. In San Francisco, I could have you killed for a dime.
I saw what I saw.
Oh, I'm sure you did, Pete.
Mr. Springer, I saw what I saw.
Mr. Perkins, come on in.
Here's your answer from Chicago.
You married, Mr. Perkins?
Nope.
Who do you talk to mostly?
Now, look, mister. Anything that comes in over my wire is strictly confidential.
An honorable man. Well, now, that's hard to come by these days.
Thank you, sir.
Heath was out of his mind, insane. He fired once, bam! He fired twice, bam! And then Parker failed. Then I went back here, and I got this axe handle, and I sneaked up on him. And I got, wham! Right over here.
Yeah, Doc, yeah, fine. That's very dramatic. Don't play games with me, Doc. I've had you investigated by the best detectives in this country. Now that we, understand each other, I don't suppose that you'll deny that you are married to a woman whose maiden name is Vera Henderson, who lives at 24 Elm Street, Chicago, Illinois?
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, nothing, Doc, nothing. Except that you are also married to a woman whose maiden name is Alice Duggan, who lives at 111 Randall Terrace, Kansas City, Missouri.
You trying to blackmail me, that's what you're doing?
Oh, Doc, temper.
The first time Charlie Whitehorse fell from that balcony. Now tell us what happened immediately afterwards.
Oh, everybody gathered round.
And did the defendant threaten Parker Atlas?
Well, I'm not sure.
not sure. What do you mean by that?
Well, it was noisy in there. I'm just not positive of everything that was said.
You were positive when you were questioned by Sheriff Madden. You were positive when you spoke to me less than 2 days ago. No further questions.
The witness is excused.
The prosecution calls as its next witness Dr. Arnold Tully.
Mr. Manus, I'm told that Dr. Tully is not in the courthouse, that he left Stockton late last night.
Congratulations, Nat.
Oh, thank you, Jared. Thank you.
Pretty neat day's work. Tully, McGinn. The old 1-2. Wiped out before they ever hit the witness chair.
Well, I always did believe in research. Thought you'd be happier.
I've never suborned a witness, Nat.
The idea is to win.
The idea is justice.
Jared, you asked me to help you on this case. You knew exactly why I came back into this town. I need you and you need me. So let's stop your wailing about legal ethics. Right now, I'm just trying to save that boy's life.
Thanks, Joe. Why so glum? You should be dancing a jig. Don't you realize that half the prosecution's case went right down the drain today?
I didn't like the way it happened.
All that happened is that a couple of liars lost their nerve.
Is that all there was to it?
Heath, a trial is a very unpredictable thing. You never know how a witness is going to behave till they get right into that chair.
Somebody got to McGinn. Somebody got to Tully. Process of elimination. I pick Springer. Jared, I've never known you to compromise before. Don't start now.
Listen, Heath, I'm no saint. You think I can put a bunch of abstract principles above my own flesh and blood?
But if I get my freedom, I want it clean. How do I live the rest of my life, not knowing whether I murdered a man? Never knowing for sure whether I'm innocent or not. I've got to know.
Well, then I'll tell you right now, you didn't do it.
Jared, stop coddling me. I'm not sure anymore. I think and I think. And I know what Charlie meant to me. And I think about seeing him on that filthy barroom floor, wasted and disgraced. Why wouldn't I kill somebody who did that to him?
Because I know you're not built that way.
Jared, I could have done it.
All right, Heath, let's go over it again. Every detail right from the very beginning. You were running down the alley. What happened then?
I reached the barn door, and McGinn and Tully tried to stop me. I brushed them aside and rushed into the barn. I heard a noise, and that's when Vandiver and Parker got up from behind some boxes.
Wait a minute. What noise?
I don't know, just a noise.
A noise from where? Think, Heath.
From the loft.
You heard a noise from the loft?
TJ.
TJ Dice?
Dice was in the loft. Jared, he must have seen the whole thing happen.
State your name, please.
Gustavus S. Vandiver.
Mr. Vandiver, what is it that you do? What is your occupation?
I'm a land speculator.
And I take it you own land here in Stockton.
No, Mr. Atlas owned the land. We were partners.
Well, how long did you know the deceased Parker Atlas?
I met him during the war. Same company.
Hey, look, I've turned this town inside out and upside down. He's gone, Jared. Nobody's seen him since the day of the shooting.
I bumped into him, and
Keep looking, Nick.
that's when we decided to become partners.
All right.
Now, Mr. Vanderbilt, please, tell us all exactly what happened after you and Parker Atlas entered that barn.
We kept quiet, hoping he wouldn't find us.
He?
Well, he's Barkley.
Go on.
But somehow he knew we were in there. I don't know, maybe he heard the door shut. But he knew, and he came to get us.
Mr. Vanderbilt, exactly what do you mean by get?
I mean kill. It was written all over his face. Craziness. He was practically slobbering at the mouth.
Well, Mr. Vanderbilt, what, if anything, did you do?
Well, we didn't stand still, and we didn't have many choices. The back door was the only way out.
So you headed immediately for that back door?
That's right. The first thing I knew, I heard a shot. That one missed. And then as I was trying to open the door, Barkley rushed up behind Parker. He shoved his pistol into Parker's back. That was the one that did it. Parker's dead before he hit the floor.
Mr. Vanderbilt, how is it that you survived?
Doc Tully. He hit Barkley with an axe handle.
And so, Mr. Vanderbilt, you saw Heath Barkley thrust his gun into the back of Parker Atlas and shoot him down in a fit of wanton rage.
Yes, sir. I did.
You're a witness.
Mr. Vanderveer, you say that you were a, how did you say it, a land speculator?
That's right.
In Denver?
Around Denver.
And you met the deceased Parker Atlas during the war?
That's right.
Would you say that you served with distinction?
Well, I like to think I did.
Mm-hmm. You two were in the same outfit, weren't you? The second, what was it, the 2nd Georgia Volunteer?
He was a lieutenant, I was a sergeant.
Sergeant?
That's right.
Well, that's odd. Got you listed here as a private, Private Gustavus S. Vanderveer.
I would like to see what that is, please.
It's an official document from the archives of the 2nd Georgia Volunteers. The names of men who deserted in the face of enemy fire.
Gentlemen, I have a little present for you. Come on, get in there.
Well, well. Hello, TJ. Where'd you find him, Nick?
Hagersville, under a rock.
You're going to get into a lot of trouble for this.
Oh, really? Heath tells me he saw you in that barn, TJ.
He's lying. I wasn't even in town.
That's not the truth. I'm gonna put you on the stand, TJ, and I can make you talk, believe me.
It won't do you no good.
Take him home with you, Nick. I'll get a subpoena from Judge Lansbury.
Come on, TJ, come on with me. You can help me saw a little firewood.
What?
Firewood, you can help me saw.
No, no,
we
see,
can
I
get a
really
few more
like
things to
that.
do for you. Yeah.
Jared, are you out of your mind? You know what he could do to us?
It's what Heath wants.
Heath wants what?
The truth, no matter what it is.
As big a fool as you are.
It runs in the family.
Change his mind. His life is your responsibility.
You didn't get to know him very well, did you?
What's the matter with him? Has he got a guilty conscience? Well, let me tell you something about human nature, Jared. In a week, he'll be down on his hands and knees, thanking God for his deliverance.
I've got an eyewitness, Nat, and I'm gonna use him.
You're gonna hang your brother, that's what you're gonna do.
Now, that wouldn't bother you very much, would it? The only thing that gives you any pain is the thought of losing to Manus.
You're the loser, Jared. He's your brother.
Would you state your full name, please?
Thomas James Dice.
Where were you last employed, Mr. Dice?
Handyman in the saloon.
I see. On the night that Parker Atlas was killed, were you in the storage barn behind that saloon?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing there?
Minding my own business.
I didn't ask you that.
I was up in the loft, stacking whiskey cases.
I see. And while you were in that loft, did anyone else enter that barn?
Atlas, Vandiver, and your brother Heath came in.
Will you tell us what you saw, Mr. Dice, after those men came into the barn?
Nothing.
Did you have your eyes shut?
No.
Now, Mr. Dice, this is a scale drawing of that barn. This is the figure of a man with his back against the farthest corner of the loft, a man of your approximate height. This arrow represents his line of sight. Now, you'll notice, with his back against the farthest corner of the loft, he has a perfectly clear view of the floor below. Now, I'll ask you again, Mr. Dice, what happened after those men came in?
Please, leave me be. I don't want to get involved.
You don't want to get involved.
All my life, I've lived clean. Never no trouble, never. Walk away. Don't get yourself mixed up in other people's messes.
Have you ever for one brief moment thought what it would be like? What it really would be like to be in some terrible trouble and desperately need someone's help, only that person wouldn't give that help because they refused to get involved? Don't you think you've cowered from the responsibilities of life long enough, Mr. Dice, because this time you are involved? You were in that barn and you saw Parker Atlas killed. I know it, the judge knows it, and the jury knows it. And if you refuse to tell us what happened, you'll not only be guilty of perpetuating a worthless existence, you'll be criminally guilty of withholding evidence. TJ. All I want you to do is simply tell the truth. Nothing will happen to you. Nothing except maybe the beginning of a new life. You were in the loft stacking whiskey cases. 3 men came in. Parker Atlas, Gus Vandiver, and Heath Barkley. What happened?
They started to argue, the 3 of them. Then Atlas moved toward your brother. They were going to fight it out because of what Atlas had done to Charlie Whitehorse. The other fellow, Vandiver, he moved up behind Atlas and pulled his pistol. But he kept it hid behind Atlas' back.
Go on.
About that time, Doc Tully came in and picked up an axe handle. Your brother Heath didn't see him because he was watching Vandiver. He must have known that Vandiver had his pistol out because he said, "Get away from there." That's when it happened. Doc Tully swung the axe handle and drove your brother forward into Atlas, and Atlas got pushed back, and well, that's what did it.
Did what?
Killed him.
Killed him?
Yes, sir.
Are you stating under oath that it was Gus Vandiver's pistol that discharged and killed Parker Atlas?
Just a minute. Mr. Barkley's gun was fired. It's here as evidence.
Yes, but Mr. Vandiver fired it. He told Doc Tully that if they didn't blame it on Heath, they'd have more trouble than they could handle.
Thank you, Mr. Dice.
Mr. Manis, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Case dismissed.
Well, congratulations, Counselor. But I still think you were wrong. No reason for you to take that risk.
There was plenty of reason, Mr. Springer. I had to know the truth.
So long, Sheriff. Goodbye, now.
Let's go home.
Oh, Keith, I'm mighty glad things turned out the way they did, but I have to admit I'm going to miss you around my jail. You know, this young man plays a pretty fair hand of poker.
Well, which reminds me, Sheriff.
Yeah.
Well, looks to me like your kings be my queen. No dealer. Put two in the middle. Same game. Oh, it's heat. Something else.
Name's Wheeler.
Your deal, Wheeler.
You come from around here?
Just passing through.
I don't blame you.
How about you?
Got some business here, and I'm heading up to Stockton.
Stockton, huh? I'm heading up that way, too, as soon as this heat lets up.
Has been hot. Call. How many?
I'll play these.
Dealer takes one.
Opener checks.
Check.
Tens over eights.
Each pair. Mister, I'm used to getting my cards from the top.
You are, mister. Oh, no. Wait, hold it. I'm not gonna kill a man over $2. Here, take your money.
Me neither. Only I have a reputation for not being cheated. I wouldn't want to spoil it.
You're making a mistake, mister, a big mistake.
Well, we'll see about that. You got no taste for guns. How are you with your hands?
Without your invitation.
Or you could apologize for dealing seconds.
Oh, no. Let's go. You set me up.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Well, now that you feel better, I'm willing to call it even.
Well, I'm not. Not by a long way.
You want to change your mind?
For the time being.
Well, what's it all about?
The Gruder there is worth $200 to the sheriff at Sonora.
What about the other?
He got in the way.
It'll take 3 days to clear this up.
And I'm in a hurry. I'll sell him to you for $150.
I don't particularly like bounties. If you want your money, you'll have to wait.
Well, I've waited this long. You still mad? Come on, I'll buy you a drink. I owe you one. Well, it's not going to cost you anything. Besides, it's still too hot to travel. Come on.
I don't believe it. Have you got the deed?
Right here.
Would you mind telling me what took you so long? You've been gone almost 2 weeks.
Oh, that's what I call a very warm welcome. No, how was the trip? Are you tired? Did you have any trouble?
How was the trip?
Long?
Are you tired?
Dead?
Did you have any trouble?
Plenty.
Well, now that those amenities are over with, would you mind telling me what took you so long?
Well, I had to get 15 signatures on that deed, and I had to go in 15 different directions to do it. Anyhow, anything new with the ranch?
Unless you consider a bear eating some of the stock new.
You sure it's a bear?
Yes, I'm sure.
Bear will attack a herd, will attack almost anything.
Yes, Nick, I know that. That's why I have half the ranch out looking for it. Nick, who the devil crossed out paragraph 4? I said, who crossed out paragraph 4?
Signature 3.
But I put that in there specifically.
That's the way he took it out.
You want some rest. The ranch is that way.
Which way? Howdy, Franklin.
Howdy, Mr. Barkley. Welcome home.
It's good to be back. Say, you wouldn't have any of that Lowry saddle soap in stock, would you?
Don't think so. Not much demand for it. Besides, your saddle looks fine.
Oh, I don't want it for my saddle. I want it for myself. Would you mind taking a look? Now.
Sure, Mr. Barkley.
Yeah.
I'll get the rest of the shingles in just a moment, ma'am.
Howdy, miss. My name's Nick Barkley.
Mr. Barkley?
You're new in town, aren't you?
That's right.
Nice to see you plan to stay for a while.
A while.
Here, I'll get that. Hold it. Now, I show you around a little bit, show you a little bit of the town, maybe, huh?
Oh, I already saw it when I rode in.
Let me guess now. You're here to teach school, right?
Wrong.
Dressmaker.
Only when I have to be.
All right, I give up.
Oh, it's nice to have that settled.
Oh, well,
Sorry, Nick. No Lowry saddle soap.
Oh.
This is our last bundle of shingles. This'll get you started. Have more tomorrow, the next day.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you didn't tell me your name.
No, I didn't, did I?
Me too, Nick.
Who is she?
Open an account under the name of Lael Johnson. She's staying at the old Miller place.
Old Miller place, huh? By herself?
I forgot to ask her.
Somebody should.
Well, how did he get away this time?
Donovan,
Oh, did you mention offering a bounty?
I pledged us for $100. Parker and Hayes said they'd match it.
No, $300 ought to get some results.
Maybe with an ordinary bear, but not with this one. Say, when do these puppies get weaned?
Oh, they've been on feed for 3 days now. Jared's going to start passing them out tomorrow.
Well, don't forget, I promised that one to Mike Cassidy, the bartender.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Nick, how was your trip?
Great, just great.
You must be very tired.
Oh, no, not a bit. It was downhill all the way.
You don't look like a man's been in the saddle 2 weeks.
I'm just getting my second win.
Well, good. Maybe you can go out hunting with us in the morning. We got a bear killing our livestock.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe you didn't hear me. We got a bear killing our livestock.
Oh, well, bears will be bears, you know. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
Oh, something came up while I was in town. I thought maybe I should get it settled.
Tell me something, Heath.
Hmm?
Is my imagination playing tricks, or did your brother Nick come in here after being away for a few weeks, pick up some shingles, and then leave without really saying hello or goodbye?
You know, I was going to ask you the same thing.
Oh.
Oh! Hello again, Miss Johnson.
Mr. Barkley?
Say, I wonder if you could help me out.
If I can.
Help me get rid of these shingles here.
That's very considerate of you, but I am.
You are in need of shingle. And I just so happen to have these 2 bundles hanging around the barn. And, well, I started getting kind of concerned about the horses. Afraid they might step on them and hurt himself.
I have enough for now and more on order.
Oh, it looks like rain. And you want to know something? There is nothing more useless than a shingle without a roof under it, expecting rain.
There's not a cloud in the sky. And I'm not in the habit of being in debt to anyone.
Oh, no, you'll be doing me a favor. You know, I spent 6 months looking for a place for those shingles.
Well, you can store them here for the time being, but when my order comes in, I'm going to replace them.
Oh, no, come on, I'll do that. Here, come on.
Thank you. I'm used to doing for myself.
Well, now, I'm very glad to hear that.
Glad to hear what?
That you live alone.
Oh!
Oh, that must have hurt. Something you got to learn. When you're hammering, you got to keep your eyes on that nail. Here, show you what I mean. Now, you set the shingle in here like this, see? Right up there, snug, and you grab your nail, take your hammer, like this. Oh! Oh, that hurt. Oh, I'm very good at giving advice. I'm not very good at taking it.
Let me see.
Oh, you think it'll live?
You didn't hit your hand at all.
You want me to?
No! Are you always like this?
No, I'm usually very shy.
I'm sure.
Say, did you ever meet anyone that made you feel like you were kicked in the stomach and you kept talking, trying to hide it?
Yes.
And it happened right from the first look?
Yes. A long time ago. Look. There's something I have to tell you.
Now, wait a minute. If you're going to talk to me about your past, I don't want to hear anything about it. Now, nobody lives in a crate waiting for that special someone to come by with a crowbar, open it up, and let him out. Only statues do that. Statues are just about as cold as gun butts.
I'll make some coffee.
Well, wait a minute. Why don't you go make some coffee?
Yeah, I think I will.
Here. Easy now. That's it.
The stove!
What?
The stove! They're ruined.
Oh, it's not much damage, just a little smoke.
I just put them up yesterday.
My sister Audra, before she went to New York, bought this whole bunch of curtain material, and she only used half of it.
It's just getting in the way.
That's right.
Must be wonderful to have so many things to get in the way. Why do I always have to have holes in the roof and broken window panes and loose floorboards? Why does everything always need painting? Every time I try to make something nice, it goes wrong.
Oh, easy now, easy. Can't be that bad. Nothing's that bad.
I'm all right now, thank you, Mr. Barkley.
Well, now, if you're going to go on calling me Mr. Barkley, do you mind if I call you Lael? Like, Lael, can I help you paint your barn?
The barn doesn't need painting.
Now, the almanac says it's going to be a very rough winter.
Is that so? Nick.
See? How much better that is? Now that we're on a first-name basis. Tomorrow night, I want to pick you up and take you out to dinner. 8 o'clock.
I can't.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock sharp.
Nick?
These the one you mean, Mr. Nick?
Those are the ones.
And the real good silver?
The best we've got. And don't forget, I want that champagne chilled. Huh?
You better hurry. They're waiting for you.
Good morning, Mother. Have a little coffee?
Well, you're pretty chipper for a man going on a bear hunt.
Bear has nothing to do with it.
Ah, the girl.
The girl.
The girl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. You've known her for such a long time.
Now, Mother, remember that Arab filly we paid $2,000 for?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 10 minutes before you wrote that check, we had never laid eyes on her.
Hey, Nick, come on, we're moving out.
Turned out to be the best buy we ever made. Right?
That makes 17.
This one looks like he just got it, too.
Looks like he went into that cave. All right, the rest of you men set up a crossfire in case he gets past us. Bring some torches.
Right away.
My rifle.
Right.
Let me have your piece there, will you, Gene?
Thank you.
If I'd have known he'd leave himself a back door.
Uh-huh.
Okay, ante up, boys. Jacks are better. Nick, you want to sit in a hand?
No, I feel like I've been on the saddle for 2 weeks. I'm going to turn in. Good luck.
Thank you. Dealer opens for 4 bits.
Good evening, ma'am. 8 o'clock sharp. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm late. I'm sorry.
You're not late.
I am. 2 minutes. Look at that. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
No, I
What's the matter?
I thought I'd make dinner for us here.
Oh, no, not the way you're dressed so pretty. We're going to go out.
Nick, I don't feel like going all the way into town.
Well, who said anything about going into town? The place I picked is nice and quiet and private.
No,
I think maybe you just might need this, too. Do you mind if we use your buckboard? Huh?
Well, all right.
The carriage awaits.
Oh, Nick.
Surprised?
Surprise. I can hardly believe it. Champagne?
Uh-huh. And a vintage year. Let's toast my lucky star.
Which one is it?
Well, anyway, it's one of them. Whichever one is working overtime. Let's toast them all.
Where are we going?
I have something that belongs to you.
Oh, it's beautiful. You must come here often.
Oh, yes, whenever the sky gets a little too old, a little low, mountains start crowding in. Ground comes up to meet me. Well, it's my special sort of place.
To bring dinner guests?
Oh, no. You're the only one that's ever been here. I found this place when I was a boy. When I was only 6 years old, I used to come here and play.
Cowboys and Indians?
Well, now, when I was 6 years old, there were lots of cowboys and Indians. And I used to be Sir Lancelot. I used the top of a keg of nails for a shield and a sunflower stalk as a sword. That old oak there, he was the Black Knight. I used to challenge him. And I must have killed him 1,000 times. It's a wonder to me how healthy he stayed all these years. I saved this place just for you.
We only met yesterday.
Just didn't know your name until yesterday. I've been waiting for you a long time.
It was absolutely delicious.
I hoped you'd like it.
My compliments to the chef.
Well, now, you may deliver those personally.
What?
I'd like you to come to my home.
Oh, I'm afraid I
Oh, no. Well, there's no sense saying no. I want you to meet my family.
Nick. There's something I must tell you.
And there's something I must tell you. It's about my brothers. I have to be very careful. Old Heath, for one, he'll kick the carpet a couple of times, and then he'll slowly herd you into the pantry where he's very dangerous. And then Jared will find you in the pantry and start talking to you about your mind. He'll get you in the drawing room, and Barry's very lethal.
Nick, take me home, please.
What's the matter?
Oh, it's late, and you have to get back to camp.
Don't worry. Melody.
Morning, Nick. You sleep good?
Lord, some people... It's daylight.
Well, boy, howdy, it sure is.
What's everyone standing around for? We got a mountain lion to catch.
A bear?
Now, listen, I just overslept a little bit.
You mean underslept? I heard you fall over a rock when you came in.
Where's my saddle?
On your horse.
Mother!
Mother?
Want a drink, Heath?
No, I'll settle for a hot bath.
From your expression, I gather you had no more luck today than yesterday.
How was the party, Mr. Nick?
It was great. And she said to give her compliments to the chef.
She said that?
That's right. That's just the way she said it. As plain as day. Give my compliments to the chef.
What do you know about that? What do you know about that?
What was that all about?
Well, last night, Silas set up a little picnic for me and a friend.
In the middle of a bear hunt?
Well, I never did need much sleep, you know.
Now, don't tell me. Let me guess who she is. The gal with the beautiful eyes and no shingles.
Well, wait till you meet her.
Oh, I'm looking forward
Well, you
to
just
it.
best be sitting down when it happens. Don't say I didn't warn you. This is the one. This is the girl. Not kidding. Oh, that reminds me. I have a chore I have to take care of.
Will you be home for dinner?
Probably. And I just frankly home a house guest.
Evening, Lyle.
Nick.
No, you shouldn't be out after dark with a bear roaming about.
Oh, I had to go into town. I picked up the shingles I owe you.
No, that's not important. Bears have been known to attack human beings, you know.
Yes, I know.
That's why I thought maybe you might need a little protection.
Oh.
His name is Sir Lancelot. His father was a wolf. His mother was the best hunting dog in all of San Joaquin. He may tend to be a little vicious, but I'm sure he'll take to you as quick as I did.
Oh, Nick. Oh, you darling. Oh, I feel more secure already.
Now you don't have to be alone anymore.
No. Sir Lancelot's going to be great company.
We're both going to keep you company tonight. I want you to meet my family.
Oh, Nick, I can't.
Why not?
Well, I have so many things to do. The stove, I
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'm having company.
Company?
Yeah. Nick Barkley's coming to dinner.
Oh, him. Well, now, you better keep your eye on him.
Yes, I will. Oh, Nick, Mr. Lancelot.
Tomorrow night, we're going to blindfold Sir Lancelot.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Hello, Lyle. Kind of a lonesome homecoming, honey. Where were you?
I wasn't expecting you. I had to go into town.
Who's your friend?
My friend?
A dog.
Oh, Sir Lancelot.
Sir Lancelot, huh? Hello, Sir Lancelot. I like that. I guess I can't rightly blame you.
6 months ago. A wire, meet me in Denver. Denver, I got a wire, meet me in San Diego. In San Diego, I got a wire, meet me in Stockton. What were you expecting, a red carpet?
I know, but you gotta give me a chance. Look, here. What I brought you back. Huh? You like that? That costs $3. Now, don't go away, folks. There's more to come. You like it? You will be the belle of any man's ball. The trouble is, it needs some ornamentation, like that brooch that I... What's this doing in here?
Well, why shouldn't it be among the souvenirs? In the 7 years we've been married, I've only had the right to wear it for 7 months.
Put it on.
Wheeler, how many men did you have to kill for all these presents?
Not as many as I had to kill for these medals.
Why couldn't you stop when everybody else did?
Because I don't know how to do anything else better. Leo, I'm home.
How long are you home this time?
Good.
I've heard that before.
No, you haven't. Now, this time, I mean it, Leo. Now, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go into that town. I'm going to buy the biggest rocking chair that I can find, and I'm just going to sit out in that front porch and watch the corn grow.
That's not the way corn grows.
Leo, I mean it. You keep it.
Why? Hiding a gun won't stop you from killing.
Where are you all meeting today?
We're going to meet in town, then head out to Willard Draw. Well, Thompson put some honeycomb out there yesterday's bait. I'll be down at the crowd, Nick, whenever you're ready. Right.
I was sorry Miss Johnson couldn't come to dinner last night.
Not any more than I was. Well, I guess, he was just a little shy, is all.
Well, perhaps if I invited her personally.
Would you?
There, Nancy. Give me the pot.
Hello there.
Good morning. I'm trying to get Sir Lancelot here to give me his paw. He sure isn't interested in learning any tricks.
So it seems.
I can't understand why. He looks so intelligent.
Well, looks can be deceiving. Even in college puppies.
I'm sure you're right. I'm
Lael Johnson.
And you're Victoria Barkley.
Nick has told me many things about you, but he never mentioned the fact that you've been married.
That's because he doesn't know.
Don't you think he should know? I'm sure the fact that you're a widow wouldn't make any difference.
I'm not a widow. Please come inside. I'd like you to meet my husband. Here, Mrs. Barkley. Citations for bravery, for courage, for killing. This is my husband. See, when I met him, he was a bank teller. He was as kind and gentle as that puppy there. And then the war came. He went in as a private, and he came out a colonel. That's where he found himself. That's where he stayed.
He's still in the army.
He's just still at war. He's a professional killer.
Well, that puts Nick in a very interesting position, doesn't it?
I didn't set out to fall in love with Nick. The first time I met him, there was no reason to tell him I was married. And the second time, he wouldn't let me. The third time I didn't want to.
I came out here because Nick asked me to invite you to our home for dinner.
I planned to tell Nick the truth.
When?
Right away. My husband came home last night. He's gone into town now. What's wrong?
Nick's on his way to town.
Well, that's all right, Mrs. Barkley. They don't know each other.
Nick Barkley. See you over the school, Heath. Wheeler, I don't want to appear to be unfriendly. Well, we do have a sheriff here. He does a very good job, so we have no want or need for a bounty hunter.
Now, do I look like I'm hunting down bounty money?
At the moment, no.
You can take my word for it, I'm not. I made a promise to my wife. I've given up that game. Tell me something, Nick. Would you say I look better in this one? Or in this one? You don't believe me, do you?
Last time I took your word, I was sorry.
Just like my wife. She doesn't believe me either. Hey, merchant. How much is this thing?
$2.
$2?
Two.
All right. I guess that's cheap enough to prove a point.
Do you have a buckboard?
I don't need a buckboard.
Oh.
Now, take it easy, horse. Well, how would you do it?
Well, put it on the back of the horse like he's going to sit on it. Yeah, like he's going to sit on it.
It works. You know, I think I'll just have to buy you a drink.
And I just might drink it. Oh, it'll work as long as he doesn't decide to sit down.
I'll take my chances.
You're really serious about all this, aren't you?
100%, why not? The rocks I sleep on seem to be getting harder. Rain keeps getting colder.
Well, settling down seems to make a lot of sense. Been doing a lot of thinking about that lately. Hey, what is all this after that talk about the rocks and the rain?
No, not this one. This one. I've never seen one like that before. $300 bounty on a bear? That's kind of unusual.
Well, that old bear's been killing livestock up and down this valley. Say, you know, you're talking about settling down. You might just could use that money. But, you know that killing a man is not different than killing a bear. I mean, the bear don't shoot back.
That's the problem. No challenge.
You know, I'd say you're going to find that chair very uncomfortable compared to that saddle. The drink? Are you going to buy me a drink? Yeah, thanks.
I hear they found a longhorn out beside the pasture.
Makes 18.
Jared, I thought you were still in court.
Well, they let us out for recess once in a while, so I thought I'd come by to wish you good luck.
Oh, Wheeler, it's my brother Jared and Heath.
Hello there.
You joining the bear hunt? Oh, he gave up bounty hunting.
Hey, Heath, when do I get the dog you promised me?
Jared, I thought you brought it in this morning.
I thought you did. Wasn't in the barn this morning.
Are you fellas by any chance talking about Sir Lancelot?
Sir, what?
Sir Lancelot. The name I gave to one of Queenie's pups.
Heath promised it to me.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Cass. I didn't know. I gave it to a girl I know. Keep her company when I'm not around.
Nick, that girl wouldn't happen to be the one you met in front of the general store the other day, would it?
Or the one you went bear hunting with the other night?
Right on both cases. But be careful what you say. This one's different from the others.
What kind of dog was it?
Just a collie pup. This one's different, huh, Nick? Wait till you see it. When you do, look, don't touch. It's my personal property.
No doubt you've got reasons to believe the young lady shares that sentiment.
Yes. I have reasons. Well, now, this is no way to catch a bear, is it? Let's go out and see how those honeycomb traps are doing.
Let's move out. The bear looks like a community project.
It is.
Well, since I aim to become a part of the community, maybe I ought to just ride along after all.
Oh, no, I told you, we're here. More than welcome.
I have to ride back and get my rifle.
No, there's not time. Cassidy, do me a favor, will you? Lend this man your rifle.
Sure. There you go. Thanks, Nick. You know, since bounty's my game, you nail that bear, I'm going to feel like you just took something away from me. And I don't like to have things taken away from me.
Watch the trap there. Don't look to me like you tried for the bait.
Sure been nosing around. Left tracks going in 6 different directions.
Bees fell our trap.
Maybe we should pair off and spread out.
Good idea.
All right if I ride with you, Nick?
So long as you don't decide to use me as a shield again.
You have my word.
All right, let's go.
Come on.
All right, Charlie, you and Bill, let's go.
These tracks here look pretty fresh.
You want to move off right? I'll cover from the left flanking position.
Sounds to me like he's on the other side of that ridge. He must have spot. What are you trying to do, Wheeler? Collect the whole bounty on that bear?
No! I'm trying for the bounty on you, Barkley!
You're out of your mind! There's no bounty on me!
Lael Johnson!
Lael?
My wife!
I didn't know.
You knew she was married. She must have told you that.
Well, I realize now she tried to tell me, but I wouldn't let her.
We killed a bear, Nick. What are you shooting at?
Had a little accident here is all. You go on, we'll catch up with you.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Let's go.
Why'd you let me off?
Because I figure Lael deserves a choice. Now, we're gonna go see her. If she tells me to ride out, you're never gonna see me again. If she tells you to ride out, I better not ever see you again, or I'll finish what you started here.
Leftovers. I guess that's all you've ever gotten from me. The time I had left over after I'd gotten through doing the things I had to do.
Or wanted to do.
Or wanted to do. Look, Lael, sometimes a man starts running a race so fast that he pulls a hamstring muscle. And then he knows if he slows up, he'll fall down. I've always been afraid of falling.
Did it ever occur to you that I might be afraid, too? Afraid of loneliness, afraid of a dark night in a strange place. Afraid of the chance that you might never come back.
I've always made it because I've had you to come back to. You were always there when I needed you.
But where were you when I needed you?
From now on, I'll be close enough so you just call my name.
You told me the same thing last night. Where were you today?
That was different.
It's always different. A week, 2 weeks, pick up those guns. How do I know?
Because I'm giving you my word on it. And the one thing I have never done is lie to you. I realize Nick Barkley has things that a woman wants. Roots, an important family, money. But you are my wife, and I want you to stay that way. Because I love you, Lael. It's the same, I won't force it. It's up to you.
Still in love with him, aren't you?